Happy Friday. Hey everyone. Thank you for joining me today in the second session of the Winter Wonderland draw and chat session. Today we're going to be drawing this winter woolen hat that you see here. This little wool hat. Of course, we're going to make it in shape like we always do. And as you're coming in, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Of course, let me know if you can hear me. Um, oh, it's a little dry. Sorry about that. We are going to be using, I'm just going to show you really quickly. Like I mentioned, we're going to be doing this in Inkscape. And I'm going to be using shortcuts, as usual, from my Inkscape Ready, Set, Go series ebook. It's just an ebook that you can download that just has all the shortcuts that I use, which are the keyboard and the mouse shortcuts for Inkscape. And it works for Mac and for PC. So I've got all the shortcuts in for both of those. All right, so let me see who is here. Siomara, you are here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. All right, we are going to get into this wool hat. If you let me do a little housekeeping before I forget, before I get to introduce myself to you. If you are not new, this is not your first. If you are new, oh, if you are new, this is your first time. I'm Nodwa from Paperflow Designs. I'm a digital illustrator, and I help crafters, probably just like you, learn how to draw and make SVG designs that you can use in your cutting machine, like Cricut, like Silhouette, Brother, lots of other machines, even Glowforge. All right, let's get into this. Hopefully my internet was giving me like kind of like problems this morning. Hopefully it will stay on is the key. All right, so like I said, we are using Inkscape. This is what the layout looks like in Inkscape when you open it out. This is the latest edition, I believe. I forget what number we're up to already in Inkscape, but I'll have a blog post with all that information. If you are curious to know like what version this is, you can go ahead, drop me a comment, and I will check it out and let you know. So to start out with, we're just starting with a basic circle. Always, I like to have these beginner tutorials that just uses basic shapes that, a beginner could do, anyone could do. So I double click to get the nodes. The nodes are those little gray squares that you see all around that circle. And of course, I take I convert the circle to a path because when you eventually save the file and you put it in, you upload it to Cricut Design Space or what is the other one called? Silhouette Designer Edition or something like that. Something that reads SVG files, you want them saved as paths. So even though I'm using the tools like the shapes, the circles, the squares, the stars, I'm always going to convert them to a path first. So I'm just shaping out that circle to the big, large part of the hat shape. Next, I'm going to use the rectangle shape. So these are all tools that you'll see right there on that left-hand side of the toolbar in Inkscape. I'm going to convert that to a path and then double click to get the nodes. And then I will just push and pull out all of those lines to round out the shape. So I don't want it to stay like, a perfect 90-degree angle rectangle. So as you can see, we're now forming like the brim of the hat. Just squeeze that out a little bit. I don't want it so narrow. I just chose this blue color because it's kind of wintry-ish, but you can choose any color you want. You want something a little brighter for this time of year, maybe something more yellowy or orangey, remind you of the sun. So I'm still playing with the nodes here. I have just clicked on that button that rounds out the nodes for me automatically, and that you'll see is on the menu bar with those little blue dots and the line. I can do that without having to click that button too. And the only reason why I'm moving around the nodes and things, I could leave it as is, but I just think it gives it more of a hand-drawn-ish kind of feel, because when you're using SVGs, they are graphics. So it's all based on, like, maths and numbers and things, and like linear quadrants, and getting into all this kind of stuff. So I want my designs to still kind of look like it's hand-drawn, because I'm an illustrator, and that's what I do is I draw. But I like digital drawing, and I like SVGs because they convert to almost anything. Like, you can upload them and cut them, and you don't have to worry about the size getting, like, if you like enlarge it, right? If you make it bigger and you want to put it like on a really big like sign, like a yard sign or something like that. If you're using something that was made in like Procreate, which is raster based, stick with me. I know I might be getting technical for you, but stick with me. It just might, the short and long of it is that if you're using something else that's not an SVG, it could look fuzzy, because if it's raster based, the pixels get bigger, bigger, and bigger, and they're not as clear and crisp as SVGs are. So that is the benefit of using SVGs. All right, so I've just made another small little circle to make that little pom-pom on the top of the hat. And I used the color dropper to make that light blue color. So you just click D, which is the shortcut for the color dropper. And then I can put that color dropper between like the blue, the light blue, and the white background of the canvas so that I can get an even lighter blue. That is the handy benefit of the color dropper. So I'm using these rectangles to make the ribbed knit look on the brim of the hat. So I'm just going to double click to get the nodes, and then I'll pull out the top line and the bottom line. So I want them rounded out. I don't have a hat like this with me, but this like to be a little bit more, a little different with mine. So mine, it's still a knit hat, but um, yeah, so you can just see like it has like those ribs in there, and that's the kind of effect that I'm trying to go for by using these lines, these rectangles in Inkscape right now. And I will double click to get the rotation handles and start lining them up on the brim of the hat. I do still wear this hat though, even though like with all this hair, it's kind of hard to fit hats under them. That's probably like why I got half of this shaved. It makes it a little easier, and I like the look. But when I had all of my hair shaved, that's when I like really used to wear this all the time. Like fall, winter, beginning of spring. I'm not a chick that likes cold weather. All right, so I'm just duplicating that first rib, I'm gonna call them ribs, that I made for the hat. You can either duplicate it using the shortcut, which is Control D to duplicate, or you can use the space bar if you're using a keyboard to kind of like copy and paste your design onto other parts of it several times. So that's two methods that you can use to duplicate or copy and paste something. You can use the shortcut, or you can use the space bar. And sometimes I flip between both. It just depends on, I don't know, my mood. And it makes no difference to like how it's going to turn out when you save it. So you can rest assured that it's not going to change anything whether you pick one over the other. last week, like I mentioned, this is part 2 of the Winter Wonderland series. Right here, just to let you know really quickly, I have grouped the first set of ribs that I made and duplicated them because you know I really like shortcuts. So I've duplicated that whole set that I've grouped and then moved it right over to the right side. I will ungroup the ribs later because I've found that sometimes when if I group things in a design, like just like what you see here, let's say I have just the ribs grouped and then I save it and then try to upload it to Design Space. Sometimes some things show up, sometimes they don't show up well. So I just prefer to make sure that I ungroup everything before I save it and then upload it to Design Space or something. I just lost my train of thought. I was going to say something about, I don't remember now. Hopefully it'll come to me later. Did want to say I am liking this new time. This technique right there is just a way to select all of the objects that are on the screen that have the same color. So let's say, for example, that I had things that were on different layers, like maybe, I don't know, something behind the hat. I think I'll have to do a tutorial on that to show you. But something on different layers, but they all have the same color. And let's say I want to grab all of those things, but I don't want to like mess around and move each item. I can just right click on the mouse and then choose select same and then say select same color. And it'll select everything on the canvas that is that same color. So that is a good little tip, a little trick to know. So here I have cut out the ribs to be the exact same shape and size of the brim of the hat. I don't have any part of it that's sticking out. And that was just using the path functions. All of these functions, if any of them are like new to you that you're not familiar with, I do have an SVG course called So Simple SVG Files where I teach you like step by step really everything about Inkscape, all of the menu items, all of the really important ones, it's not all of them, but all the ones that I use to make SVG files. I'll show you like how to download Inkscape, how to make different designs, but like really step by step with all of the shortcuts, and I'll have like the names of them on there, and also how to save them, how to use text and quote, and how to eventually save your SVG file, download it, and upload it to Cricut Design Space. So if you are interested in that, there is a link somewhere in here, probably in the description box or on the, yeah, somewhere in the post, there will be a link to that if you're interested in that. So we're just using the rectangle again to make the little pom-pom to make it look fuzzy. I'm going to do like the individual kind of like fuzzy spokes. I'm not going to put like a million of them on there, but I'm just going to put a few of them on the little pom-pom to give it that that illusion, that look of it being fuzzy. And I'm just using that same rectangle that we used to make the brim, that we also use to make the ribs of the brim of the hat. So just by double clicking and just playing around with the nodes, you can do so much in Inkscape. So I've changed the color, just using the color dropper again, and you see it. And I'm gonna change it to make it like a color that's between the light blue and the darker blue. So that now you can see it, and then I'll shrink it. And I'm just gonna duplicate this same shape a few different times and just place them anywhere around the little pom-pom. So I'll make a few of them first, maybe like 3 or 4 of them, and then you'll see that it's a little shortcut again to select all of them and duplicate them. And I just like to do it that way because I'm not having to make each single little fuzzy section one at a time. So it does help to make the drawing go like, a little bit quicker. Not saying that you have to try to rush everything, but time is important. Because for those of you who are interested in making SVGs, and let's say you want to open an Etsy shop or maybe sell it on lots of these other platforms that you can buy digital assets on, you have to put a few things in your shop. You can't just like put like maybe like, you know, 1 or 2 things in there. Well, I guess you could if you got like this huge following and everybody knows like you just make, I don't know, like tomatoes or whatever. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. If you are interested in making SVGs and you want to sell them on your own website or on a marketplace like Etsy, you're gonna have to make a few of these designs, and they're all gonna take time. So you want to be able to find ways to um to short yeah, for lack of a better word, to shortcut it and make more designs quicker. So if you're taking like 5 hours to make one design, it's just probably not the best use of your time. So find, little shortcuts and things, find ways that you can save time on each drawing that you do. Speaking of wasting time, like I'm a little stuck here. What else want to tell you guys? Um, oh, so things that you can do with a design like this. Let's say you want to make I was thinking of like tags and things for like activities that, let's say, kids do activities. I don't know if right now with the events that are going on, that's necessarily going to be happening. But things like I know someone close to me who is having a baby soon. So if you are, let's say, far from the person and you want to give them something, but you still want it to have like a little bit of a personal touch, you could use this to make a tag for them. You could use this as to put, to make on bibs for the baby. Things to personalize like onesies, because everybody, if you've ever had kids, you're going to need lots and lots of onesies. So something like this you could put on a onesie and also personalize it with the name on there. For some reason, I am a little bit stuck. That's okay. Let's see if I change my layout a little bit. Does that move anything? Like I mentioned this morning, my internet was giving me problems, and I was just like crossing my fingers, hoping that it would all work out. Like for some reason, I don't know, this morning I had like lost connection completely. I was thinking, oh, okay, it's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna find a solution, and it did come back. My connection was working. Now, of course, when I'm like on live, it would want to do this. For some reason, let me see if I can load this back up. I am also going to make a blog post with this, so eventually when I get that all fixed, I'll put in the I'll put the whole complete video of this drawing of the wool hat in the blog post. I think I did mention to you that this is part 2 of the Winter Wonderland draw and chat session. Last week we drew a cup of hot cocoa. This week it's the wool hat. All right, so these technical issues, I cannot work this one out right now. That's what happens when I'm coming on live. I mean, you know, it is live video, so sometimes there are hiccups. So let me not keep you hanging on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the full video on the blog post, and I will put the link to the blog post in here as soon as I come off and close this out. If you have any questions, drop a comment, let me know. And if you want to be the first to know about when I'm coming on to do another draw and chat session, go over to my website, which is Paperflow Designs. That is PAPERFLO Designs with an S on the end.com. And over there, you can sign up, get on my VIP list for free. Doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get an email to let you know when I'm coming on live. Perfect time for you to, ask questions about SVGs. Let me know, what kind of um, questions you have. Maybe it's about selling on Etsy, or you're interested in starting your own drawings and designs, selling them somewhere else or on your own platform. Whatever it is that you want to know, you come on here and talk to me then, and I'll be happy to help you out if I can. All right. Once again, I apologize for the little hiccup, but like I said, there will be a link probably by tomorrow, because it's going to take me some time to get that post up and get that linked in to you. All right. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next Friday, and have a great weekend. Bye.